Hello everypony, that's right, I'm back at it again with another My Little Pony video. Once again, I'm on the design train and here to create some fake My Little Pony characters, this time with the help of my friends, Ash, Hope, Anon, Forest, Daedric Dragon, and Stella Star. I sent each of my friends a form to fill out everything that I needed to know and designed a series of 6 characters with their requirements. I asked them to give me a body type, pony type, adult or filly, coat colour, mane and tail style and colour, cutie mark idea, and any accessories or other visual inspirations such as freckles or headphones. Once I had everyone's submissions, I began to design part 2 of my Fan and Pony. Before we get started on these designs, I just wanted to say thank you again to Element Bases on DeviantArt for the pony bases, as well as a few others I found on Pinterest. And as always, if you have any suggestions for future designs if I were to do a part 3 using comment suggestions, drop them down below. The first design was submitted by my longtime friend Ash, who gave me the following requirements. A male Pegasus with a light blue body, short curly mane and medium length curly tail, both in purple, with glasses, freckles, and something to represent carving or sculpting for the cutie mark. With that, I set to work on creating the first pony of this video. Starting with a base from Pinterest, I removed the background and horn to leave me with the basic body of a male Pegasus. Some canon examples in the show with this body type are Bo Hothoof, Rainbow Dash's father, introduced in Season 7, Episode 7, Cloud Chaser from Season 4, Episode 16, and Flash Sentry, Season 4, Episode 11, as well as having a semi-prominent role in the Equestria Girls movies as Twilight's love interest. As for the mane and tail style, I took inspiration from Pinkie Pie and modified the palette to be a light purple variant with darker purple streaks. Using that lighter colour, I also gave this character freckles on both the face and outer wings. Next, I added the glasses, which I also gave a darker purple lens colour rather than clear as a form of novelty that evokes a whimsical nature. Finally, the cutie mark. The prompt given was sculpting, specifically mini or fine detail things. I decided to create a double-ended tool of a hammer and chisel, but I did consider a crossed over chisel and paintbrush. Do you think that would have suited this character better, or do you have an alternative idea? Please leave your suggestions down below. On to the next character. This one came from my best friend Hope. Their prompts were a female unicorn, golden yellow body, light pink and red mane and tail, Rapunzel-style hair, very long regardless of whether braided or not, flower accessories, body freckles, and the cutie mark inspiration being a writer of some variety. Starting with the body from Element Bases, removing the wings, and picking a color palette, I began to design a unicorn character. As usual, I started with the body, arguably the most important thing, since our main character Twilight was a female unicorn. I say was, given she becomes an alicorn later in the show. Next, I added the mane and tail from a selection of them from Applejack's appearances during the show. I used the braided hair and tail from both of them, which I believe are the ones Applejack has during the Grand Galloping Gala episode. However, as you'll see in the speed paint, I struggle quite a bit with extending the braid. As Hope had requested, they wanted Rapunzel-style length hair, and I had to oblige. As much as I would want to keep the mane and tail long even in the braids, I did eventually work out how to extend them without looking too messy. I then added some flowers to the hair at the ends of the braids as well as behind the ear. Finally, I made a very simple paper and quill cutie mark to represent the prompt of a writer, and here is her final design. I think if I were to add magic to this particular drawing it would also be pink, but tell me, would you pick a different colour for this character? The third character I am designing comes from someone who wanted to remain anonymous. They prompted me with probably the most interesting design for this video, and judging by the music I would assume you know where this is going if you've been anywhere on the My Little Pony side of TikTok. Let me introduce you to My Little Pony Infectionate Crystal Bone Corruption. Beginning in the Crystal Empire after the initial attack from King Sombra and how he erased the Crystal Empire, the kingdom was left in ruin. Princess Cadance needed to try and restore the Crystal Heart after its corruption and shattering during the battle, and many people were sent to gather crystals from all around the city. Try as they might, thousands of crystals were gathered, but all in vain. None worked. Too many pieces of the Crystal Heart were destroyed and went missing in the attack, and nothing could repair it. During a crystal collection expedition, a group of Earth ponies was sent to gather more crystals out further from the main city. One of these ponies is the one designed in this video, Patient Zero of the Crystal Bone Corruption. Starting with this pony, he originally was a regular pony in the mining industry, leading his expedition group that day. He volunteered to go first into an uncharted cave, a decision he would come to regret. Deep inside remained none other than King Sombra. He attacked the group with remnants of the crystal heart he had managed to gather, but his weak state after the attack allowed his magic to be unstable and render the group useless. They all fled, but Patient Zero was injured trying to escape. His right hind limb caught under a falling rock when the cave collapsed. King Sombra continued his attack, and Patient Zero's leg was torn off trying to pull it out from under a fallen boulder. By then, it was too late. Given he was attacked directly with corrupted pieces of the crystal heart, the infection was sent to the second last stage before full crystallization. Stage 1. The infected encounters a healthy pony who is bitten and a piece of crystal is lodged in their body at the site of the bite they received. Unicorns have a decreased or complete lack of magic, Pegasus wings are rendered still and become unusable, and Earth ponies are rendered unable to walk until Stage 2. Stage 2. The newly infected bite wound heals over completely with corrupted crystal fragments in a variety of colors. Their eyes become fully black aside from reflections, teeth become sharpened, and the jaw becomes slack and hangs open. In more severe cases, the eyes bleed. Mane and tail hair also falls out late in this stage. Stage 3, the second to last stage. More and more pieces of crystal grow out of the body, starting with the current wounds or recently healed wounds. At this stage, Earth ponies are the ones who end up the strongest. Unicorns have their magic now changed and corrupted, and can blast a few people with the infection before reaching the final stage. Pegasus ponies almost always skip this stage, but during it, their wings are entirely solidified and shatter, which they use to infect others. Earth ponies can walk again, and their bones are now fully turned to crystal. They can run with thundering steps and are physically strong enough to overpower ponies even as strong as the royal guards. Their skin has darkened, ready to peel off. They can infect others the fastest with a direct bite. Stage 4 is the final stage, the statue stage. Ponies are turned into crystal statues that draw others in with a magical aura, and those who touch them directly become infected and quickly reach Stage 4 themselves. Earth ponies reach this stage the slowest. There is no cure. The Crystal Heart would have had the ability to cure ponies of the Crystal Empire if they were reunited, but the entire heart would be corrupted instead, as some of the pieces were fully corrupted by King Sombra. As such, Princess Cadence would be rendered useless, and have to escape the Empire to seek help, as the crystal corruption would be what King Sombra's magic is focused on, therefore bringing the Empire back to Equestria instead of keeping it hidden. As for the design of Patient Zero, I have designed an example of early Stage 3 in this disease. Thanks to Anon's suggestion, I have been inspired to create an infection AU, and given the color palette I would create something that would appear like rotting flesh and dry blood. Fun fact about the coat color, 4A412A or Pantone 448C is described as the following. Pantone 448C is a color in the Pantone color system, described as a drab dark brown and informally dubbed the ugliest color in the world. It was selected in 2012 as the color for plain tobacco and cigarette packaging in Australia, after market researchers determined it was the least attractive color. Perhaps if I did a full video on my infection AU, I might redraw this character in each stage of infection, but I like how this one turned out. The patchy mane, unhinged jaw, bloody eyes and fangs, and exposed crystal bone bring out the creepy factor. If people do enjoy this infection AU concept, I may consider doing a full video in the future. Steering away from the dark yet intriguing lore of yet another My Little Pony infection AU, I bring you the next character that comes from my friend Stella Star, a fellow Twitch streamer and YouTuber. Please go check out her links in the description below. Per her suggestions, I have been assigned to create a female unicorn with a pink body, long dark mane and tail with no specified colour, headphones and piercings, and a technology-related cutie mark. With this one, I did have a bit of a struggle trying to get a good coat colour, but I spent so long testing colours and you only see two in the speed paint, the first and last ones. And honestly, the colour looks pretty similar to the beta design of Rarity. As for the mane, I wanted to go with a pink and green palette and came up with a nice wavy design. Also, I did use Scootaloo's tail because honestly it's very fitting for the mane that I designed myself. After that, I added the headphones from one screenshot of Fluttershy and recolored it as a nice blue. I would have used the headphones of DJ Pone 3 aka Vinyl Scratch, but honestly I don't know why I didn't. Maybe for simplicity? I honestly have no idea. But I say it looks nice. Finally, the cutie mark. I felt drawn to a golden colour for it and started with a few hearts. Then I wanted to continue the musical motif that started with the headphones and turned the larger heart into a musical note. To add with the more technology side of the prompt for the cutie mark, I also added a heartbeat line. With that, here is the second unicorn of this video. As for the next pony from another content creator, this one was submitted by none other than Daedric Dragon, a fellow streamer and YouTuber. Please go follow them. Here they have suggested some rather interesting qualities for a pony that, as far as I know, there are no canon ponies with these qualities, but let's start with the basics. They suggested a female pegasus with a dark body, short messy mane, and long tail. For the interesting, unique traits that Day requested, I was told to add gradient limbs and gradient mane. No pony, as far as I know, has this except for Cadence, but she doesn't count. I'm referring to basic background ponies. Same with the gradient mane. I mean, sure, you could argue Celestia kinda has a gradient, but I'd like to argue no. As for the cutie mark, I was given a reference image from Day's own OC, Corian, and the tattoo located on the upper right arm. As such, I copied the icon and it stands out well against the dark body. I also added light blue on the wings so that it stands out. If I were to redraw this again, I think I'd need to do the line art quite a bit darker. Overall, I like it very much. Also, I did draw Day a pony sonar a while back with a very similar colour palette, and its cutie mark is Day's channel icon. Finally, we have the last pony of this video. This one's design prompt comes from none other than Forrest, and he has suggested a nice and simple design to create for the last pony of this video. And I hope you guys like it too. As for the traits, we have a male pegasus with a dark green body, black, green, and blue mane and tail, and a constellation or space theme for the cutie mark. As I started with this design, you have no idea how hard it is to find any My Little Pony bases for male characters. Seriously, it is so difficult. But once I found one, it was very easy to pick a colour palette. Trust me. Next, I made flowy curly hair and then the tail and coloured them in. It did take a while to decide how I wanted the colours to be placed, but I do like how they ended up. Then we have the cutie mark, and I decided on the constellation of Ursa Major, purely because there's an Ursa Major featured in the show. That's literally it. I had no other idea of what to do, but I think it's fitting. If you have any suggestions for alternative ideas to this design or any others in the video, please leave them in the comments below. And that's it. Here is every fake pony character that I have made as requested by my friends. But before I close out this video, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for over 250 subscribers. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I'm really glad I can share my creative ideas with you, and I hope to make more stuff like this in the future. Maybe for a future video I'll make pony designs using suggestions from the comments. If you'd like to see that, drop some ideas down below with the requirements on screen, and who knows, maybe you'll feature in one of my videos. Thank you also to my friends Ash, Hope, Anon, Stella, Day, and Forrest for your help with this video. I've linked everyone's socials in the description below for those who wanted me to share them, and I would love it if you went and checked out their content. But that's it for now. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.